And why is Allah reminding us of this? For example, why is He reminding us of the mother's struggle? Wahn ala wahn. Because it's something that we never will remember. So Allah's reminding us, okay? And Allah's saying it's a weakness upon weakness for the mother. He's highlighting the struggle of the mother. I think it's interesting. Allah highlights, even in many other parts in the Quran, about the woman and her pregnancy. It's even said that there's a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that a woman from the beginning of her pregnancy until labor, through birth, even 40 days after her birth, if she passes away, she is a shaheed. She is a martyr. She's a shaheeda. She will die, and if she dies, she will be among the shuhada, who will be birds flying under the throne of Allah. Because she is actually in a state, like jihad is a state where people are being attacked and hurt, and you're weak, and if in the battlefield it's a very vicious place. And actually you might not notice it. Usually we see pregnant people when they're sort of in a good phase of their life, but just to tell you a little bit about the first 3 months, what they call the first trimester, I actually, and many people I've met, we sort of like went through a depression. I remember most of the days I was just sitting in the corner of my room, like crying and telling Mahad, I can't do this, I don't know what to do, like I can't get through this. Your whole body is fatigued, you can't eat. I lost like 15 pounds just not eating because everything you ate came out. And it's a sickness that you feel every moment of the day, and you're like wondering, will I ever get out of this? And I remember the only time it sort of eased for me was when someone gave me the advice to have patience. I remember thinking so many times, Ya Allah, take away this pain, take away this pain. They said, rather ask Allah to give you patience in it. And only after I asked for that, it started dissipating. A way to I began to remember Allah and the mercy He had upon me, that prior to this, for 25 years, I was fine, and after this, it'll be okay. It's amazing that Allah mentions the woman, the pregnancy of a woman in the Quran. And even the first 2 years, Allah mentions the nursing, because even that is a struggle. And so Allah is, although you've never experienced it, Allah is reminding us, that's what your mother went through. That's what she went through for 9 months. For the next many years of your life, when you can't remember the moments that she took care of you when you were sick. When you would say no to everything she said, even though she's trying to help you. That's what Allah is trying to remind us of. So can we ever really give back to them what they gave to us? We never can. And it's amazing, there's a story of a Sahabi. It's mentioned in fiqh books, the story of the Sahabi, but it has actually a beautiful story behind it. What's mentioned in the books of Zakah is Anta wa maluka li abika. You and all of your money belongs to your father. And so from this fiqh rulings came about. But when we finally heard the story from where that came from, it was amazing. So a grown man, comes to the Prophet ﷺ complaining about his father. And he says to the Prophet ﷺ, my father is taking away my wealth. Like, he's unfairly taking away what belongs to me. So the Prophet ﷺ says, call your father to me. And before the father comes, Jibreel alayhi comes and informs the Prophet ﷺ, when this man comes, ask him about what his heart has constructed, but he has not even heard himself. Something he's constructed in his heart, but he hasn't even said the words out loud. So the Prophet ﷺ, he hears this from Jibreel. Then the man comes, the father comes, and he asks him, are you taking away the wealth of your son? And the man says, ask my son, what is the only thing I use his wealth on? Is myself, on his aunts, on his uncles, on our family. That's what I use the wealth from my son for. And the Prophet ﷺ says, it's an expression that says, okay, he understood the matter. He saw who was being what was happening there. First, he thought, the father's taking away the son's wealth. Then he realized, okay, the father's taking what's, a right upon him to be, taken care of by his son. And then the Prophet ﷺ says, now tell me about what your heart has constructed that not even your own ears have even heard. And the man is amazed. He said, this only increases my iman in you and Allah, that you're asking me about something that I have not even heard. In truth, the man says, there's a poem that I've constructed in my heart. I've just been thinking about it and saying it in my heart, but I've never even said it out loud. Allah was listening to the poem of this man in his heart. And Allah loved it so much, He told Jibreel to tell the Prophet to ask him about this so that we would learn about this. Allah listens to every single person, even what they're saying in their heart. And so the man recited the following poetry. I fed you in my childhood and took care of you when you were young. You lived on my earnings alone. When on some night you became sick, I spent the whole night remaining awake and restless because of your sickness, as if your sickness was my own and not yours, and because of which my eyes kept shedding tears throughout the night. My heart kept trembling lest something happens to you, though I knew that the time of death is fixed, being neither early nor late. So, when you reached the age and maturity that I had always been looking forward to, then you made hard-heartedness and harshness my return, as if you were the one doing me favors and giving me rewards. Alas, if it was not possible for you to fulfill my right as a father, you could have at least done what a good neighbor would have done. So you could have given me the least right of a neighbor and abstained from being miserly in my case, in my own property. And then the Prophet ﷺ said the famous words, Anta wa maluka li abika. You and everything you own, it belongs to your father. Allah knows the difficulties in our own hearts. He knows the difficulties of parents, even when the stay-at-home mother who feels like her whole life is going crazy and berserk because there's little children running around, and she's thinking, Ya Allah, I do all these things for them. No one even sees it. The husband comes home, he didn't see what she did all day. No one sees it, but Allah sees it. Allah hears the songs and the poetry that you're writing in your heart. A beautiful athar from one of the Sahabi is that it was Abdullah ibn Umar. A man came to him and he had performed Umrah with his mother on his back. So he'd taken his mom on his back and formed the 7 tawaf around the Kaaba. It's not an easy thing to do. And so he said to Abdullah ibn Umar, have I fulfilled my rights upon my mother? Have I given her back what she did for me? She carried me for 9 months. Have I fulfilled that, given that equal amount of goodness back to her? And Abdullah ibn Umar said, not even one contraction. Not even one contraction was fulfilled by what you did.